Gus Boyd Tinnedy on the violin, man.
Stop mistreating Uncle Lou!
Tequila drinking, and yes, our minds will wander to wondrous places. So why would you care to get out of this place? You and me and all our friends, such a happy human race. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we'll die. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we'll die. Check it out, boy!
Finally! Uncle Lou has come back to the live shows! I don't speak pineapple, Will!
Eat, drink,
I bust my ass, Lou. That's what I do every day. So you be careful who you mouth off to, jerk off.
Say y'all again. Meet us at Kroger Field. Uncle Lou, meet us at Kroger Field.
Must be some kind of way out of here. Said not joke, but too.
Who have Georgia playing? Woo!
Too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessman, he drink my wine, and the plowman dig my earth. None of them along the line know what any of it's worth. No reason to get excited. The thief kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel life is but a joke. You and I have been through that. Yes, we have. And this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour is getting late.
He's a Florida man, Lou. If Cran just lived to be 200 years old, he couldn't play like this. How y'all doing? Welcome back to Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show. Appreciate all y'all tuning in tonight. 706-786-4481. 706-786-4481 is the number if you want to be a part of the show. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get the party started. I'm sure we're going to have some amazing phone calls. Got a couple people on hold already. Couple of open lines, though. So if you want to call in, do it now before the phone lines get backed up. 706-786-4481. Yeah. I do this show on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Morning show, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 8 a.m. And lunch money with me and your boy, Pigskin Pete, every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. There's the schedule. Screenshot that, memorize it, print it out, put it under your pillow. Osmosis. When you sleep, memorize the Uncle Lou schedule. That would be great. That would be amazing. Hit the thumbs up. Participate in the comment section. That's why most of you are here. Most of you aren't here for me or the callers. I know that. You're here for the comment section. Participate in the comment section. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the super chat if you want to support the show and what I'm trying to do here on YouTube. Super chat's a great way to do it. Hit the PayPal. That's a great way to do it too. Here's the PayPal link. Maybe. Yeah. There's the PayPal link for those of you that don't mind taking the extra step with the PayPal. Like our boy, RB Smata. And Mike Reiser. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Already before the show even started, really. Supporting the show through the PayPal. I really appreciate that. Let's see what they have to say. RB Smata says, you sure do love your Dave Matthews. Yeah, I play it at least 10 times a year here on the channel. Dave Matthews is great. I can understand maybe if some people aren't into his music. I can get that. It's not a mainstream. It's not a mainstream band. You're not going to hear Dave Matthews on the pop station, on the top 40 station. Generally, he's had a few songs show up on there over the years. He's a touring band. He's my generation's Grateful Dead, Widespread Panic. They're a touring band, and I'm such an idiot. I've never seen them live. That's a problem I'm looking to change if they ever make concerts legal again. I'd love to see Dave Matthews. I saw Tool for the first time 3 years ago. 2 years ago, 2019, I guess. It was spring of 2019. Saw Tool for the first time. I mean, Tool, you guys know how I feel about Tool. I haven't been to a lot of concerts in my life, believe it or not. I went to a lot when I was younger, but that was a lot of country concerts, stuff like that. I haven't, in my adult years, I really didn't go to a lot of concerts. So I saw Tool for the first time just a couple of years ago. Dave Matthews is on my bucket list. I'd love to see him live. But the thing about Dave and Tool too, and this is weird that I'm attracted to Tool and Dave because I'm not a musical person at all. I can barely, I tell you all this all the time, kind of as a joke. I can barely clap. I'm not a musical person at all. I can't play guitar or piano I have no musical ability at all. But both Dave and Tool, the band, forget the singers, forget Dave, forget Maynard, the band, if you talk to anybody who does know music, they will tell you I almost said magicians. They almost are magicians. The musicians in both of those bands are amazing. Just amazing. Danny Carey, in my opinion, the drummer for Tool, is the best drummer on planet Earth alive today. I know the guy. What was the guy's name that died a couple of years ago? He was an amazing drummer too. I hate that I forget his name. It sounds disrespectful, but if there's any hardcore musicians or music lovers in the chat, you'll know who I'm talking about. The drummer that died a couple of years ago, last year maybe. I think it was 2 years ago though. Danny Carey might be the best drummer alive. The drummer for Tool. What that guy can do is unbelievable. And you look at Dave. He's got instruments that don't even make any sense. Fiddles and saxophones, but it works. It all comes together. And Boyd Tinsley on the fiddle, which unfortunately no longer a part of the band. He was a victim of the Me Too movement and got canceled. Is there a better fiddle player on planet Earth? I don't know. Boyd Tinsley was unbelievable on that on the fiddle. And Dave's got a good drummer too. Carter, what's his name? Carter Buford. I think it's Carter Buford. And Dave, because Dave is such a musician, he attracts the best of the best. You can go on YouTube and watch Dave Matthews play with Warren Haynes all day long. And Warren Haynes is widely considered one of the greatest guitar players of all time. And Warren Haynes, not technically a member of the Dave Matthews Band, obviously, but point is, they're such great musicians, they're able to attract these people. But so I do love Dave. I don't know if that was meant to be kind of a joke. You're saying you sure do love your Dave Matthews, Smotta said. I do love Dave. I've been listening to Dave since I was in high school. Same with Tool. And that's probably why I still love them today. Some of you aren't old enough to understand this yet or appreciate it, but the music that you really loved in high school, and I've always had a very eclectic musical taste. Even back in high school, I listened to pop, I listened to rock, I listened to country, I listened to rap. But I really fell in love with Tool and Dave Matthews in my high school years. And now, 25 years later, they're two of my favorite bands of all time. And I know that not everybody feels that way. And believe me, I know that a lot of people that listen to this channel or watch this channel get tired of hearing Tool all the time. Or Smotta maybe is getting tired of Dave Matthews. I don't know what to tell you. I do mix it up from time to time. Blinding Lights. I play all kinds of stuff on here, but I can't deny. I can't deny my love for D&B and Tool. Thank you for the super chat though, Smotta. I appreciate that. And Mike Reiser. See, I hope this is a joke because it seems like it's been a while since Mike Reiser left us a joke. He says, "How is a wife like a freezer? It takes hours of defrosting to get either really wet." I don't know about that. Might depend on your ability. Might depend on your abilities there. I don't know. Thank you guys for the super chats, though. I do appreciate that, seriously. Thank you for supporting the show. Jay Bones? Yeah, Jay Bones. Thank you for hitting the super chat, sir. He says, "Do you think the 3 Tennessee transfers will make a big difference for OU. Big difference? No. Because I already thought OU was a top 3 team for next year. OU is absolutely loaded. And look, I don't know, J Bones, how long you've been watching this channel. I don't have a reason to hate Oklahoma. I mean, we have the amazing 2017 playoff game, so I don't have a reason to hate them. But I've been very hard on Oklahoma because their defense was just pitiful, and it got old watching them make the playoffs every year just to get beat in the first round. I mean, you just knew it was going to happen. Their defense last year was a huge step forward over anything Oklahoma's put on the field in a long time, and they have almost their entire offense coming back. They got to find a running back, but they got almost their entire offense coming back. I think Oklahoma is a legitimate national title contender this year. I would not be surprised at all to see Oklahoma in the national title game. Now, it's impossible to predict playoff wins in, the beginning of April. We don't know who if Oklahoma makes the playoff, we don't know who they would get matched up with or whatever. I think Oklahoma is much better positioned right now to win a playoff game than they ever have been in the playoff era. Their defense is not the joke that it once was. Is it a top 10 defense? No, but you don't have to have a top 10 defense. If you've got a top 5 offense and a top 25 defense, you can win a national title. So will those 3 Tennessee players make a huge difference? No, I don't think so, because I don't think there's anything that can make a huge difference to the positive for Oklahoma this year, because they're already so loaded. I mean, they're just, and I think it's going to be hard for a lot of people to come to that realization, because we're so used to laughing at them. Oh, here they go again, 12-0, 11-1, win the Big 12 title game, they're in the playoffs, whoopity-doo. Doesn't matter who they play, they're going to lose. That ain't the case this year. Oklahoma's got a legit shot to win a playoff game this year. Again, to reemphasize, we don't know who they would get matched up with yet, so I'm not predicting that they win a playoff game yet. I mean, we got to see who they get matched up with. Let's just be honest. But anybody that's just brushing Oklahoma aside, because of their poor defense over the last 5-6 years, whatever, you may be in for a rude awakening this year. So does it help Tennessee to get those players? A couple of them I think will help. Will it make a big difference? No, because I don't think anything can make a big difference, because they're already so good. That's like saying, if Alabama were to get a transfer in, would it make a big difference? No. They're loaded already. Ohio State, if they get a transfer in, will it make a big difference? No. Clemson? No. Georgia? No. Although, speaking of Georgia, they did get a very important transfer in a position of need. What have I been crying about all offseason when it comes to Georgia next year? What have I been crying about? What's my biggest worry when it comes to Georgia for 2021? I have talked about it incessantly for the last 3 months. And in my opinion, Georgia went out and got the best transfer protocol, if you're that one weird Miami guy. Georgia went out and got the best available DB in the transfer portal, in my opinion. Just my opinion. And I've been wrong before. But the guy was great last year. Listen, Oklahoma had the number 1 pass defense in America last year. They played in Big 12. Those teams throw for 800 yards a game like it's nothing. West Virginia had the number 1 pass defense in America. We've got Oklahoma's DB coach from last year and their best DB from last year. So, am I going to try to convince you that this guy's going to win the Thorpe Award this year? No. But look at Georgia's secondary and how inexperienced it is heading into next year. This is a huge get for Georgia, in my opinion. And I think even if you're not a Georgia fan, I think you have to look at this and go, man, that definitely makes Georgia better. Now, to J Bone's question, a lot better? No, Georgia's already a top 5 team. There's nothing they can do to get, quote unquote, a lot better. Just like there's nothing Oklahoma can do to get, quote unquote, a lot better. But Georgia had one position of need. Georgia had one concern, There was one position group for Georgia that was a question mark. And by bringing this guy in, I'm not saying it answers all those questions. I'm not saying Georgia's now got the best secondary in America. That's not what I'm saying. But bringing this guy in does ease some of those concerns. And even if you're not a Georgia fan or you hate Georgia or you hate me, if you don't agree with that, then you're just blind. And then you don't know what you're talking about. Period. And of course, that would be a you problem. BCC, what's up, buddy? Thank you for the super chat. He says, are we still meeting for a DMB show? I would love to. Listen, we got this big thing planned for the Georgia-Clemson game, right? Where, of course, me and Pete are going to go. But a lot of other people have expressed interest in going too. And so when the tickets come up on StubHub in July, me and Pete are both going to talk about it on our channel. And whoever wants to get in on it, we're going to work it out. And we're going to buy a block of tickets. And a bunch of us are going to go. I would love to do that for a DMB show, whether it's just me and you, BCC, or if I don't know how many of you in here are DMB fans, because regardless of what Smata said in the PayPal, I don't really play DMB that often on here. Like literally probably maybe 10, 15 times a year, maybe. So I don't play it a lot. So I don't know how many of you are DMB fans, but I would love to go see a Dave concert. I would love it. And I would go by myself. That's how much I love Dave. But if we can get a group together, BCC, whether that's just me and you, or if there's a group of it that wants to, get together. Because the thing is, once they start concerts again, Dave tours nonstop. I mean, they I don't know how many concerts they play a year, but it's probably 200. They're a tour, they're a live band. They're a touring band, like Grateful Dead or Widespread Panic, something like that. So, yeah, sign me up for that. Slim, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, y'all don't let Lou lie to y'all. He likes to blast his Steely Dan records till the wee hours of the morning. Slim, I'm going to tell you something right now. I know the name Steely Dan. I don't know what group he's in. I don't know. I do know that name, Steely Dan, but I don't even know what group he's in. Mountaineer Mike, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, so should West Virginia fans take that as a compliment? Well, you should take it as a compliment on last year's team. Yes. Yes. If you remember, halfway through the season, West Virginia had the number 1 overall defense in America, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, well, this is a fluke of scheduling or something. This isn't going to last. And it didn't last. They didn't finish with the number 1 overall defense, but they had one of the best pass defenses in America through all of last year. And listen, what have we all been saying about the Big 12 forever? Track meet league. Everybody throws for 900 yards a game. Well, West Virginia had a top 5 pass defense in all of America last year. And now Georgia has their DB coach and their best DB. So, put it this way. It doesn't make Georgia worse to get this DB. Even if you hate Georgia, hate me, whatever. It doesn't make Georgia worse to get this guy. DB was a huge problem for Georgia for next year. No doubt about it. If we lose to Clemson, and we could lose to Clemson. I know the title, we're going 15-0, cry about it. We could lose to Clemson. They're clearly the best team we play all year in regular season. We could lose that game. If we lose that game, it will be because of the DBs. If we lose that game, it'll be because the ukulele had 450 yards passing. That's why. That's the only way Clemson will beat us. That's it. If you told me right now, Lou, I'm not going to tell you who won, but ukulele was 25 of 38 for 210 yards, I would say, great. Georgia won. Ukulele's got to have 400-plus yards for Clemson to win that game. And there's a legit chance that he does that. He's really good. And Clemson is loaded. So, but this doesn't hurt Georgia to get this guy. This only makes Georgia better. So let's get in the phone call, see what you guys think about it. Maybe you want to argue with me. I don't know. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yeah, good morning, Lou. It's the spelling bee man.
Oh, good. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you? I was calling to, since it's been a few days, I was going to check in with you.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't be any better.
Yeah, obviously. Good mood tonight. I'm in a good mood as well, sir. It's been
good.
good day for my dad as far as progress with him.
That's
so.
great news.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's just quick. We'll discuss about Georgia's season as far as obviously.
Are you on a walkie-talkie?
So I like. So sorry, my mom interrupted. Anyway, so about Georgia's season, obviously 15-0, whatever. But what do you think as far as like an actual prediction, if you had to say?
Well, I don't do predictions until the summertime, but Georgia will be favored in at least 11 of their games.
Yeah.
I don't know what the line will be on the Clemson game. It's going to be close. Georgia, I have a feeling Clemson may be about a 3-point favorite, and maybe there's a line out now. I don't know. Georgia could be potentially an underdog in that Clemson game. UNCLELOU, even though he's a new quarterback, he had 2 starts last year and looked great in both of them. Clemson's got, I think, Clemson had all 11 starters back on defense, but he had to kick the one guy off the team because he was allergic to class. So they've got 10 of 11 starters back, including neck roll. This dumb Pollock they got playing middle linebacker that likes to spear people.
Skowski or whatever.
Listen, they're loaded. I'm going to spend all offseason clowning Clemson with the C- thing and all that. Clemson is a loaded team. I mean, I'm not telling anybody watching right now anything they don't already know. But here's the deal. Georgia's loaded too. There's no outcome to this game that would be surprising unless it's a blowout one way or the other. And I'm not even looking at the comments right now, but if there's anybody going, Clemson's winning by 40 or Georgia's winning by 40, that's a little delusional. Could that happen?
Yeah, you're right.
Well, it's possible because we see weird things happen all the time. Clemson beat Alabama 44-16 when we thought Alabama was an unbeatable team. So we see weird things happen. Yeah. I don't think there's a person alive that would put $1 on either team winning this game by 20 points or more, though. So what I mean by that is it's considered by most reasonable people to be a close game that either team could win. But Georgia could definitely lose that game. And we could lose others, too, but we'll be favorites in the other game. I mean, we're going to be favored over Florida. We're going to be favored over Auburn. Who else is on the schedule? I mean, there's no one else on the... Is anyone else on the schedule even close to being ranked? No.
Maybe Auburn's not ranked, but going into Jordan-Hare could be a bit of a scare with Kirby's,
Why?
Previous.
For what?
It's just his struggles on the road with SEC West.
Well, not against Auburn. I mean, how many times has Auburn beat us in the last 15 years? 3 times or something? I mean, they can't beat us. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Kirby lost in Kirby's first 3 years. He lost every SEC West road game. I get that. But we won at Auburn 2 years ago. We won at Arkansas last year. That boat has sailed now. So I'm done with beating that drum now. And believe me, I'm more than willing to criticize Kirby Smart when it's needed. And I criticized him like no other when he couldn't win an SEC West road game his first 3 or 4 years in Athens. But he's got that monkey off his back. And Georgia owns Auburn like rental property. I mean, I'm serious. I don't know I can't remember the record off the top of my head, but there's something like 3-14 against us in the last 17 games. We could play Auburn on the moon. It's not going to matter. We could play them out back of a TJ Maxx. It just doesn't matter.
Or you could play them in a barn.
Play them in a barn. I mean, they had a new coaching staff, and the new coaching staff is dumb, so they're going to let what's his name start again, even though he's no good. Bo Nix. I actually would rank Auburn pretty far down the list. Teams I'm more worried about somebody like I'm more worried about Arkansas. How about that? I'm more worried about Arkansas than I am Auburn. I'm serious. And we get Arkansas at home. I'm not worried about Auburn this year.
Or Mizzou.
I'm not. Mizzou. There you go. Mizzou. Keep sleeping on Mizzou. People sleeping on Mizzou. Not you. I don't know if you are or not. Telling people right. Listen, Mizzou could finish second in the East, and that's real talk.
That's real talk.
People are sleeping on Mizzou.
Probably gonna.
If Florida is even a little bit worse than what some people think they will be, because I think most people look at Florida and they go 9-3, second in the East. I just think that's what most people think. If they're a little bit worse than that, Missouri could be the second best team in the East. It could come down to that Florida-Missouri game, which, if I remember right, is late in the year. Second place could come down to that game. Missouri is not a terrible team. They could definitely come in second in the East. So
they've always given us a fight.
Well, I don't know about that. They've beat us one time since they joined the SEC. Missouri has. They're like 1-9 against us.
But those games, those outcomes, I mean, sometimes they're tight. I mean, they don't always give us a good fight, but they're at least, our games have been close.
Are you even old enough to remember the whole grown man football thing? Are you old enough to remember that? You know what I'm talking about when I say grown man football versus old man football? You know what I mean by that?
I'm sure.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm not picking on you. I mean, you're what, 16? I mean, so when Missouri first joined the SEC, and they were pretty good. Remember, they won the East 2 of the first 3 years they were in the SEC East. Won the East, I mean.
Yeah, like 2012, 13.
So, but now, of course, we beat them like a drum both years, but that's neither here nor there for the purposes of this conversation. But typical Mark Richt year, you beat the good teams and lose to the bad teams. The players for Missouri, before we played them, their first year in the SEC, gave a bunch of interviews bashing the SEC. The SEC is boring. The SEC is slow. Now, to Missouri's credit, this is when Alabama was winning national titles 20-10 and stuff like that, and it wasn't like it is now. But there was a Missouri player that gave an interview, and he referred to Georgia in particular and the SEC in general as old man football. Old man football. Yep,
I do remember that.
Well, we went out and played them and beat the absolute soul out of them. And someone in the stands held up a sign at the end of the game that said grown man football. And it became a famous, sort of an infamous thing, grown man football. So we've owned Missouri. But they're going to be a good team this year. No doubt. No doubt about it. But go down the list. I mean, and I've talked about this. I think half of Georgia's schedule this year is first-year coaches.
Yep. And we would just absolutely have to collapse to have more than, one loss?
Auburn, Tennessee, South Carolina. Who else? Who am I leaving out?
You already said Auburn.
Auburn, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, second-year coach.
And Sam Pittman still, kind of.
Yeah, and I like Sam Pittman. And I'm sure Arkansas will be a little better this year than they were last year, but they're not beating Georgia. So, 15-0.
And this is one of the first years I can think of that we're factually favored. I mean, we've been favored these past few years, but it hasn't always turned out. So, I mean, it's hard to have a crystal ball in April, but I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see because it's set up for us for high success.
I don't know. Who have we been an underdog to in the last 3 years besides Alabama and LSU?
I can't think of any rival or any every year opponent that we've been.
Yeah, I think we've been favored. I think we've been favored. Oklahoma was favored.
Yep.
We were favored against Texas and Baylor. We were favored against Cincinnati. We've been favored against Auburn every year we've played them since Kirby's been there.
Were we favored against Florida last year? Were we favored in that game?
You know what? I don't remember. I think we might have. I think we might have been. I think we might have been. We might have been an underdog in that game. Anybody in the comments remember? I think Georgia was an underdog in that game against Florida last year.
Just because of what they had seen from 5'0" Bettman Stinnett. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think we.
Yeah,
were,
man. I was
just
gonna. I appreciate you taking my. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking my call, man. I was just gonna check in and say, hey.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you calling in, and we will talk to you again soon, I'm sure. Let's see who's up next here. Yeah, good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, what's up, Lou? It's Mike Vick.
Mike Vick, man. I feel like I haven't talked to you since this morning.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I haven't talked. Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Okay. We have that sort of connection. What's on your mind this evening, sir?
Oh, yeah, I want you to know, that if UGA goes 15-0. Yeah, I definitely will not be crying. Yeah, I might shed some tears of joy. But...
Yeah, you don't strike me as the crying type of person. Mike Vick, when was the last time you cried?
I can't remember.
Did you cry when you received your MVS plaque?
No.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Maybe after the 2017 national championship, maybe.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Any particular reason you called in this evening?
No. Yeah, I just wanted to,
You know what I'm going to do?
Tell you.
You know what I'm going to do? I have to take a bath.
What?
I have to pee. I'm going to put the next caller on. But this is your show. So so I'm going to go 3 2 1 and I want you to say, "Good morning, you're on with Michael Vick," and you get the next caller, whoever it is. I don't even know who it is.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
And then it's going to take me probably 4 minutes to go in, pee, come out, and that, you know. Can you handle that?
Yeah, I can handle that.
All right, this is your mission. Should you choose to accept it?
I accept it.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. You're on with Michael Vick.
Mr. Michael Vick, owner of the MVS plaque. Hey, just a year ago, who would have thought that was actually a thing? And now the whole world knows. When you say MVS plaque, everybody knows who you're talking about there.
Right. Yes. This Scott Kerr, the fake news guy.
No, this is actually Beggin' Megan, one of your faithful followers, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember me during the roast you had, which was awesome, by the way.
Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So how are you? Are you digging the whole QAnon thing? I personally think it's one of the best moves that you and Lou both have ever made.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So do you have any leads on next week's QAnon? I'm not asking you to spill the beans, but I mean, do you have something cooking?
No, not yet.
Not yet. When do you typically decide what the soup of the day is going to be on the QAnon episode?
The day before, usually.
Really? Do you do a bunch of research on the web before you do that, or?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, usually I think of what I want to talk about first, and then start looking stuff up.
I got you. The plaque. Have you decided on a place to permanently put that in the house there, or?
I'll hang it up. Yeah.
Okay. So
I decide where I want to put it. Yeah.
And they've decided on next year's location for the Slav Olympics, correct?
Yes, location, yes, but they have not decided on a date.
I
need to figure out a place to hang the plaque so that it can be seen during my live streams.
I got you. So what if I ask you to give me a prediction for Georgia's record next year? What do you got?
I told you 15-0.
Mike.
What?
Whoopity doo!
Well, let me ask you this: when's the last time?
Mike
Go
Vick,
ahead.
how'd you do?
Yeah, I did good.
I had a feeling you.
Yep,
I had a
yep,
feeling
I'm on
you
the
would.
phone with I'm on the phone with Big and Megan.
Oh, great. Well, I better get you off so I can talk to Beg and Megan. Thank you for calling in this evening, Mike Vick. You're good people. Beg and Megan, good morning, sir. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, buddy. He officially knocked it out of the park.
Okay,
good.
good.
He was pretty good.
Good. Passing grade.
So, hey,
Mike
listen. I caught a little bit of your show this morning, and you brought up the difference between what's the Alabama quarterback's name? I keep forgetting.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. I shouldn't forget. He threw for like 1,000,000 yards against us, but him and
Justin Fields.
Gosh, getting old, man. Sorry. Yeah. And I know what you were getting at there. There were a couple of examples that kind of ran through my mind. I personally, and I know what the undertones there were, by the way, of the comparison. But
Right.
I really think that when it comes to the draft, man, I think there's one color that matters, and that's green. It is some of this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I believe that to a certain extent. I do. Now, I see a lot of comments on my channel all the time referring to Justin Fields as stupid. And I'm just going to say this right now. Anybody who refers to Justin Fields as stupid or can't read a defense or can't learn a playbook, they're racist. There is no other explanation, because if you take even 5 seconds to look into Justin Fields, he's smarter than you. And I don't mean you. I mean the person that is typing the guy got accepted to Harvard.
Right.
They don't give out football scholarships, okay? There's no lower scale to get into Harvard like there is in the SEC. You know, you get a 700 on your SAT, you can go to Georgia or Alabama or Florida or LSU or Mississippi State or Arkansas. You get a 700 on your SAT, they laugh at you at Harvard. Okay? Yeah. He's smarter than almost everybody in this comment section. So there is some of that goes on. Now, whether that applies to NFL front offices and GMs and whoever's writing all these articles about how Justin Fields is a huge character issue, but I don't see one. When I said that about Mac Jones this morning, 75% of the people in the comment section didn't even know. Why don't they know? Because all the articles are about Justin Fields and how he's whatever these articles are that are coming out. He's not a team player. He's not this. He's not that. You know, character issues. Not a single article about Mac Jones. Well, it is strange. The guy's got 2 DUIs. And I'm not knocking DUIs. Like I said this morning, I'm living in a glass house over here when it comes to DUIs. Yeah. And Mac Jones could be a great NFL quarterback. And I'm not suggesting that they should be talking about Mac Jones DUIs. I'm just pointing out it's a little strange to be reading a different article every day about how questionable Justin Fields is based on what I don't know. And I don't see a peep about Mac Jones and any character issues he may or may not have.
And I understand that. And everything you said about Justin Fields' intelligence, that's not opinion. That's just facts. There's no, that's black and white. Pardon the pun there. But I do know about one of the DUIs not being a big deal. But I wasn't able to find the second one, but I found the first one. And I understood why it wasn't a big deal, because at that time he was an afterthought. No one knew his name. So I could understand that.
They know his name now. And let me remind you that when Robert Kimdichie was about to be drafted, they posted pictures of him in a pot mask from 3 years prior.
No, that was Laramie Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil. Thank you. You know, I don't see any Mac Jones mugshots getting posted. That's all I'm saying. You know, if I go to Twitter right now, I can find 100 of my mugshots on there from people posting it every day.
Right.
I don't see any Mac Jones mugshots getting posted, but I see a bunch of articles about Justin Fields' questionable character. That's all I'm saying. And I'm
Right.
not saying that to say that Justin Fields is going to be better in the NFL than Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones, especially if he goes to the 49ers, I think he fits really well there with the scheme that they run and the coaching they have. I think Mac Jones could be very and San Francisco's not a terrible team. Let's not forget. They were in the Super Bowl not that long ago. They've got some talent there. So I think Mac Jones could be very successful in the NFL. I'm just pointing out the weirdness of how certain players are questioned and certain players aren't. That's all.
Right, and I'm glad you brought up Laramie Tunsil because that sort of makes my point for me. Do you remember why those pictures were posted and everything with Laramie Tunsil?
No.
He had screwed over a financial planner that he had promised to hire pre-draft.
Oh.
And apparently when you do that, you hand over your cell phone number, your texts, email, stuff like that, so that they can get control of it and fend off any of the so-called, bad actors that may be causing problems. Well, Laramie Tunsil screwed this guy over, and that guy, basically his revenge was waiting right before the draft. And he had all those text messages, all those pictures, and that was his way of getting back at Laramie Tunsil.
Okay.
And my point is, when it comes to the draft, I personally don't believe it's a black and white thing. I think it is strictly a green thing. Let's say you're New England and you want Justin Fields. Now, that's not the case this year. I realize that, but let's just say that.
Well,
and
might be the
he's
case.
projected to go.
I think there's a very good chance. I think
be.
there's a very good chance Justin Fields winds up in New England.
It may be, but I'm NFL ignorant like you are, but times two. Okay.
Okay.
But let's say he's projected to go at number 4. Okay. And you're down here sitting at number 12 or number 13, 14, whatever the case may be. You've got some sort of a liaison who's willing to go out there and just before the draft, put out some dirt on Justin Fields just to cast a little bit of doubt in some team's mind about taking him at that point. And it may be your own organization who was working against that individual to get them at a lower pick. That happens. Apparently that happens all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time. And I do believe that.
It's a sleazy.
I do believe
it's a sleazy deal. And I think sometimes that can look like a racial thing if it's a quarterback spot,
But
sometimes it's not.
There's no team out there trying to make Mac Jones look bad because they secretly want him. Because I know a good way that a team could do that, and I haven't seen a single article.
Yeah, I understand, and that's a good point. But to my rebuttal of that would be being here in Gainesville. Cam Newton was obviously in Gainesville for a while. He was known as a absolute terror downtown, and he actually had a buddy who owned a piano bar downtown that he used to go to quite a bit. And they wound up having to bar this guy from coming in there.
Yeah,
he just acted like a complete idiot. Was threatening people. He demanded free drinks. He showed up as a true freshman with this attitude. And people in Gainesville were like, number one, how is this guy still on the team? And number two, how is he not getting arrested every weekend the way he was acting, But I didn't hear but my point is now when he got to Auburn, he eventually did get kicked off the team in Gainesville, obviously. And he got to Auburn and he had the situation that the whole world knew about. But come draft day, guess who was the first pick in the entire draft?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That Gainesville stuff, everyone in Gainesville knew about it, but you didn't hear those stories coming out right before the draft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not exactly a clear-cut issue. I really think green is the only color that matters come draft time. I really do.
Yeah.
And on the comment about the transfers from Tennessee going to Oklahoma, just a real quick point. Remember when Demetrius Robertson transferred to Georgia? Mm-hmm. The hoopla, and he immediately became the best receiver on the team, and he's been a total non-factor. So it's not always what it looks like when these guys transfer. It's not. It could be something, or it could be absolutely nothing, which has been the case with him. So
Great point.
Yeah, you just never know. So I'll let you get some other callers, man.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure. He always has good calls every time he calls in. I like him. There was a comment from HR picking stuff a minute ago. I don't ever think about racism until Lou brings it up. That's a direct product of head in sand syndrome, sir. You may want to get that looked at. It's amazing what you can not see when you refuse to look. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou. It's Taylor here. How you doing, man?
Doing great, Taylor. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing awesome.
That's good news.
Especially since what went down Monday night.
I don't have any idea what went down Monday night. I have no clue. I was unplugged.
Well, if you were following the March Madness, my team won it all.
You're a Baylor fan. Oh, yeah. I know who you are now. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, your team won it all as predicted by Uncle Lou. Can I get some credit or no?
Oh, of course. I can give you all kinds of credit. I picked them myself. Everybody called me a homer.
Well, it's one thing to pick them when you're a Baylor fan. It's another thing to pick them when you're college football ignorant and haven't seen a game all year. And I still managed to pick Baylor out of the pile. So I sort of deserve more credit even than you, honestly. If I'm being real.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to argue there.
That game was over in the first 5 minutes, wasn't it? There was just Baylor.
Yeah,
Baylor, for whatever reason, you see games happen this way sometimes. You know, if those two teams played 10 times, Gonzaga would win some of them, you know. But for whatever reason, that was just Baylor's night. And there was just...
It was.
I mean, it was a 15-point lead before I knew what was going on, and it never got any closer. It was just a domination.
Yeah, it was. I mean, here's the thing: Gonzaga hasn't played a defense like Baylor has.
Yeah, I hear that all the time, though. So I mean,
yeah,
but here's the thing: the who have they played thing, and you as a Baylor fan.
Yeah.
To try to diminish how good Gonzaga was, you're really taking a shot then at your own team. Gonzaga was a great team.
Oh no, they're incredible.
Great team.
He's a great.
They're a great team, just not quite as good as Baylor on Monday night. Yeah.
I mean, this is very true.
You know, it's like every time Georgia loses to Alabama, everybody shows up and Georgia sucks. Well, that's not very complimentary. That's not very complimentary to Alabama. Then, if losing to Alabama means you suck, then is Alabama really that good? You know what I mean? So Gonzaga was a great team.
Gonzaga's a great team. I mean, they're going to be good again next year.
No doubt, they're good every year. They've been in the tournament 24 years in a row. So, I mean, that doesn't happen by accident.
Very true. Yeah.
They play in a bad conference. They play in a bad conference. Stop. There's 300 teams are eligible for the tournament. 250 of those teams play in a bad conference. They don't make the tournament 24 years in a row. Gonzaga's a great basketball program. Period. End of story.
Oh, they have been for years.
Yes.
They have been for years. I mean, I think even before Few got there, they've been making the tournament. I mean, I can
Mark
remember.
Few though deserves some credit, man. You got to take your hat off to Mark Few.
Yeah.
This guy could pick his job and name his price. Look at North Carolina. Roy Williams just retired.
Yep.
You don't think they'd hire Mark Few?
Mm-hmm.
Of course they would hire Mark Few. Of course they would. They would send him a blank check.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Mark Few, even though he hasn't quote unquote got over the hump or whatever and won a national title yet, and that's going to be the knock on him until he does it. But my God,
he's going to get there eventually.
There hasn't been a more consistent coach or team in college basketball in the last 20 years than Gonzaga. There hasn't.
Pride, yeah.
North Carolina, Kentucky, and Duke were terrible this year. When was the last time Gonzaga was terrible?
Yeah.
When was the last time Gonzaga was terrible? I honestly don't know.
terrible.
Long
Wow,
time
I
ago.
don't know. It's been,
Long time ago.
oh man, a very long time ago. So I guess based on the title of the video, it says you have Georgia going 15-0.
Yeah. Congratulations on your reading ability.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Georgia going 15-0.
I guess schools.
Why not?
Yeah. I don't know.
Can you give me a reason why they're not going 15-0?
I don't know. I haven't seen their schedule.
Well, I have. You want me to tell you who's on it?
I mean, I know they open up with the Taters.
The Tater Man, the Florida Man, the Barner Man, the Vol Man, the Gamecock Man, the Arkansas Man, the Missouri Man,
Yeah.
the Vandy Man,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3 nobody manses. No, 2 nobody manses. That's 12-0, ain't it?
Wow,
Is that 12-0 or no?
if they can beat the Taters, then yes.
You want me to? How about this?
I don't
What if I
see
change
why
the title
not.
to Georgia's going 14-1 with a loss to the Taters? If
I mean,
Georgia goes 14-1
that's
with
a
a loss to
playoff.
if Georgia goes 14-1 with a loss to the Taters, what does that mean? Means they won the national title.
Well, that means you're.
That's the only way. If you lose your first game but go 14-1, you won the national title. There's no other way to get to 14-1.
Yep. It's true.
I'll gladly change the title.
that's
Look, I
awesome.
want to beat Clemson so bad I can't stand it. But that's not
Oh,
my
I
goal
bet.
for the season. That's not my goal. See, if you're a South Carolina fan, your goal is to beat a ranked team and compete with Clemson. That's your goal. If you're Tennessee, your goal is to beat Vandy and make a bowl game.
Yeah.
My as a Georgia
Yeah.
fan, our goal should not be to win any one game. The goal should be to make the playoffs and win it. So I could care
Yeah.
less really if we lose to the Tater. Now I want to beat the Tater bad for a lot of reasons. I want to beat
Well,
the Tater.
sure,
Of
sure.
course I want to beat the Tater. But Georgia could lose to the Tater, finish the regular season 11-1, and if they do, they're one game away. If Georgia loses to the Tater and finishes the regular season 11-1, they're one game away from the playoffs. The SEC title. All they got to do is win the SEC title game. They're in the playoffs. So
they'd be in it.
it is what it
I
is.
think they'd be in it.
I'm willing to consider
I think
changing the
they'd be
title
in
of this video to 14-1, but either way, it's going to end the same way. Season's ending the same way, and that's with Georgia hoisting that trophy. Period.
Yeah, I mean,
Cry
it'd be
about it.
nice
And call
to
in.
see,
I don't know what
and
to tell
I'm
you.
sure-
All the type. Call in.
Oh yeah. Oh, they wouldn't be telling you 1980 anymore.
Right. Oh, wait till listen, sir. Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
When Georgia wins that national title this year,
Mhm.
and I Hulk Hogan that 1980 T-shirt that you've seen my 1980 T-shirt, right? Everyone's seen it. I wear it all the time.
Yes, I have. Oh yeah.
What's going to happen to my comment section when Georgia wins the national title and I Hulk Hogan that 1980 T-shirt? You know what that means? You know what that means, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's that mean?
Rip it.
Right. And underneath that bitch, there's a 2021 T-shirt. What's going to happen, Uncle Lou's comment section?
Probably get a lot of congratulations.
Oh, it's going to be
for
hashtag
Georgia fans
2021.
celebrating.
Oh, hashtag. All I want to see is hashtag 2021 over and over and over, just like the hashtag 1980. I cannot wait, sir.
Oh yeah, I bet that'll be nice
How
and
sweet it
satisfying,
is. It's
won't
going to
it?
be, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Did you get my the mini helmet? Because I sent it.
Baylor?
Yep.
Hold on. Let me look. When'd you send it?
Last week.
Oh, no. No. It's probably at the post office. I'll go by there tomorrow.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, I just had to look. No, it goes Army, Auburn,
Post up.
BYU. So no Baylor up there yet. But I'm excited to get to Baylor, so I will go tomorrow. I got right after the morning show ends tomorrow, I will go to the post office and get that. Yeah, I'm excited to get that.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see it. Because I like to watch my LouTube every day, like I'm supposed to.
Good. I bet your cholesterol is low as hell, dangerously low.
I haven't checked lately.
Yeah, you don't need to check. If you watch Uncle Lou, you don't need to. Watching Uncle Lou every day will lower your cholesterol, keep you off of that Lipitor, which is killing you from the inside out.
Oh yeah, and then eating my Cheerios, that'll help too.
Yeah, big contest over here. Who can take the most pills? Yeah. Watch Uncle Lou.
Yes,
Throw
sir.
the pills away. Watch Uncle Lou.
Oh yeah.
No, congratulations though. And
Yeah,
you didn't wait. You didn't wait until Baylor won the national title to call in either. You've been calling in for months now. So you have a legitimate right to brag. And Baylor was a fun team to watch. A great team. Yeah. So congratulations, man. Congratulations, seriously.
Yes, I'm very, very happy for us. I mean, I went to Baylor, so
right. I know. Yeah. I mean, you have every right to brag, trash talk, the whole thing. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll just remain humble about it.
Well, I don't understand that, but okay.
Yeah. I mean,
you know how many subscribers I'll lose if Georgia wins a national title? I will be the most unbearable person on YouTube.
I'll still be subscribed.
Well, I know you will. You're good people, but some of these, Kleenex nitwits, they'll be gone quick.
I'm sure they will. They won't have anything to type.
Oh, I'll be right here live streaming to 3 people bragging nonstop.
I'll be one of those 3.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
I've had
to great cholesterol.
Yeah. I've had to, suffer through, football season winning, I've seen 1 game won. I've seen 2 games won this past year. And then, it gets to basketball season. It's a whole different story.
Right.
So, I'm not one of those guys that's a, Baylor basketball fan and an Alabama football fan.
Right. You're not like Ballard.
I'm a Vanderbilt baseball fan.
Yeah. Ballard loves Alabama football. Suddenly he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan and all this kind of. You're not that. I get that. Yeah, that's that's respect with a K on the end.
Yeah, respect it.
Right. All right, buddy. Congratulations again. I'm gonna let you go. I gotta knock these calls out. It's 11 o'clock and I gotta wrap this show up. So let's run through the rest of these calls. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Well, I don't need to hype up Oklahoma anymore because you're just going to do it for me, apparently.
Been doing it for 3 months, sir. Listen, all this guy does is hate Oklahoma. That's what I heard in 2017. This guy just hates Oklahoma. Right. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't just hate nobody. I call it like I see it. And Oklahoma had a piss poor, pitiful, embarrassing, shameful defense 5 out of the last 5 years. Except for last year.
Yeah,
and so I call it like I see it. It's just how it is. Oklahoma is a legitimate team. Now, if there's somebody this year that's already writing Oklahoma off, yes, they're an Oklahoma hater and they're just not paying attention. That ain't me. I pay attention. Well, I get the whole thing that this guy wouldn't know a football if it hit him in the head. I get it. Oh, he's never seen a game. Okay, well, I've never seen a game, but I'm telling you, Oklahoma's legit this coming year, period.
Well, I got to deal with Steve Sarkisian being the next coming at Texas, apparently, because, it's going to be different this time in Austin. So,
yeah, it's different every time.
His recruiting class, he's got lined up, so. But, other than that.
Recruiting hasn't been the problem. Hell, Charlie Strong recruited good there. Charlie Strong had top 10 classes.
Yeah.
We got the talent. We just don't have the coach. Better bring in Tom Herman. Now this guy's in the wind. This Tom Herman. So, and look, maybe Steve Sarkisian succeeds. I don't know, but it's hard to bank on that, especially this year. Texas ain't winning. Texas not winning the Big. A new quarterback. No, Texas not winning the Big 12. It's not happening.
Well, they're trying to figure out whether they're allowed to sing the school song or not. So that's their big off-season problem they're going on. They're not talking about football. They're talking about school songs,
Well, they're trying to hang on to their
anyway,
hashtag heritage. So good luck with that.
You got me thinking lots of things. I was come on and talk about the 3 Tennessee guys. Then I started thinking about when's the last time I cried. And I really had to think about it. Like, I don't know. Like, I get misty-eyed at certain movies. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I do too. Movies get me
about
too.
It.
Movies and music get me. I don't, oh, look at Lou. But music and movies get me. I don't know that I've ever cried at a football game, to be honest. If Georgia wins a national title, maybe that would do it. I'm not likely to cry at a loss. I get too angry to cry at a loss, I think. Maybe if Georgia won a natty, but I don't know. I have no idea. But, yeah, music and movies will get – and you know what? I think anybody that says I don't never cry at no movie, I think they're lying.
I get a little, you know what stupid one? Not stupid, but like I get a little misty-eyed when at the end of Home Alone when Macaulay Culkin hugs his mom at the end.
Well, that's just
I don't
silly.
know why, I just do.
Yeah, that's just silly. But if anybody, if there's a human being alive that can watch the movie Marley and Me, have you seen Marley and Me?
Oh, do we? No, let's not do that.
Are you a dog? Are you a dog person?
Listen, the dog lived at the end, all right? I don't want to hear this garbage
No, he didn't.
Else, right? The dog is fine.
No, he didn't.
No, listen, listen.
Okay, I see what you're doing. So you're a dog person. if there's a human being alive that can watch Marley and Me and not cry at the end, I don't want to know you because you're a soulless robot or so. I mean, I don't understand how you can watch that movie from beginning to end and not just completely lose it at the end. I can't compute with that. And I'm admittedly a dog person. I was raised with my parents had dogs before they had me, and I've always had dogs. And, they're a part of the family. And I know not everybody looks at dogs that way. Somebody has hunting dogs that keep them outside in a cage. Maybe don't look at them okay, fine. But to me, dogs are a part of anybody that can watch Marley and Me and not shed a tear, you got some serious problems, in my opinion.
I'm trying to think of sports. I did have some what I like to call "fuck you" tears when OU beat Bama in that Sugar Bowl. So that was a moment. So
right.
I was like,
how did I just realize this is Oni Kuno? I'm sorry. I apologize.
I thought you knew off the top.
I just realized it. I just picked up on the some of your cadence or whatever. Yeah, so I apologize for that. This is Oni Kuno, everybody. So we got a celebrity calling in. He's
that's why I said it's like you're pumping up OU so much. I don't have to do it. I can shut my channel down for the summer.
Yeah, but listen, and I've watched you even when we were arguing. You've known OU's defense was doo-doo. Now it's
every
not
offseason.
doo-doo. Now it's not. They don't have Georgia's defense. They don't have whoever, I don't know, name a top 5 defense. They don't have that. But we're in an offensive cycle right now. Now you can't have the 130th defense like you did in 2017 when we beat you 52-48. You can't have that. But you don't have that. You've got a top 30 defense, don't you? I think so.
We got it. Well, we have like a top. Last year we had like depending on what if you want to like count whatever teams, like we were top 20 defense at our peak. I would say.
No doubt. You know what?
20.
What cost y'all was Spencer Rattler was a freshman and didn't know what he was doing the first 3 weeks of the season. That's what cost you. You were one of the best 4 teams at the end of the year. I mean, period.
Yeah, everybody was going through COVID and everyone had different. But like he was a freshman and we had our offensive line was not figured out yet. Like we were just everybody. Like Rattler was trying too hard at times to be a hero, and it cost us a couple of games. Like one game we shouldn't have lost. The Iowa State game you can forgive, but like the K-State one was just ugh. Like if it was a normal offseason, we win that game going away. But it's like I got to argue with like A&M fans who think they did something special last year. But anyway,
no, listen, y'all would have beat I'm an SEC homer. I'm an SEC homer. Y'all would have beat A&M by 30. I mean, that's just what would have happened. Like, that's just what would have happened. Well, no, you wanted the Florida game.
I wanted that.
That would have been a great game. Y'all wouldn't have beat Florida by 30 points with all those players. You may still have beat them, But that was the most interesting.
Yeah, I was about
bowl
to correct you. I was like, hang on, we might still beat them.
Yeah, when the bowl games were announced, that was the one everyone circled.
It's like when Kyle Pitts dropped out, I was like, all right, that really sucks. But at least they got, and then like every starting receiver outside of like one like stuck around. I was like, well, if we don't win this game by 30, then but thankfully we did. But
everything I've been saying about OU this offseason, it would have been the exact opposite if y'all would have laid an egg against half a Florida team.
of course. Now, I want to talk about like you saying the big difference thing, and I want to clarify a few things because all three of those guys, Key Lawrence, Wanya Morris, and Eric Gray, all three of those guys, believe it or not, they were positions of need. Because unfortunately, because recruiting giveth and recruiting taketh away, we struck out at those spots of guys we thought we were going to get.
At offensive line? Now that surprises me because even when y'all were, I mean, don't y'all put 3 offensive linemen a year in the draft? I mean, so that surprises me that you really needed Wanya Morris. Eric Gray, I get. Y'all do need a running back.
Well, yeah, Eric Gray is sounding pretty good right now. He's so far, from what I understand, he's like the best guy when it comes to catching the ball out of the backfield, and he's loving Lincoln Riley's offense. So I think you're going to see a lot of Eric Gray this coming season. Now, Wanya Morris, he was a little dinged up, and he's just not getting on the practice field. So we'll see. It's more of like a depth issue is what I was concerned about. It's like we have guys we can start, but like at the tackle position, like at one, whether it's left or right, it's like we don't have anyone behind Swenson or or whoever else we're going to put back there. And as for Key Lawrence, it's just, like our secondary talent, like our blue chip ratio has gone through the roof the past few years. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, we're not putting out 3 stars with like 5-star hearts anymore. We got guys who are like, okay, that are over 6 foot, no more midget corners, no more midget safeties. And I'm excited about the guys we're putting out there. And whether Key Lawrence is going to play, nickel, or he's going to play safety, we finally have some options at safety, not just Darian Turner, and Pat Fields, who, God bless those guys. I appreciate all the time and effort they put in, but outside of Turner Yell, who's kind of like a more solid guy back there, Pat Fields is like just another guy.
Well, and that's what I mean when I say like. You have it's Oklahoma. They're not going to have a they're going to have a great offense. They're not going to have a defense. They're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. Well, you're not paying attention. I mean, there's no other explanation. I mean, you talked about recruiting. Oklahoma had top 5 recruiting classes while they had the number 130th defense in America. And I did this live on live shows multiple times. I would pull up the Oklahoma recruiting classes. 9 out of the top 10 rated recruits in every Oklahoma class was an offensive guy.
Offense.
And now you're still getting great offensive guys, but but now you're mixing in some of the defensive guys. The defensive line at Oklahoma was absolutely atrocious for 5 years. It was just pitiful.
I'll tell you what, this year.
And the linebackers were even worse.
Well, they're a strength because I'm calling it right now, and if I'm wrong, call me out. Like call me, text me, carrier pigeon, whatever. Perrion Winfrey is going to be a first-round pick next season.
Yeah,
mark it down. He is a first-round pick.
That's the thing. Oklahoma has those guys now on defense. They do. They have them. If you don't understand that it's okay because I don't follow recruiting that close either. It's just. I happened to look into Oklahoma because I was just very impressed with them at the end of the year. They have those dudes now on defense. They are not going to be 100th in defense this year. It's just not going to happen. No. They're going to have a legit defense.
Well, here's how stupid I've gotten. I don't know if you saw this video I posted the other day, but I said, it may not happen, but this is the first off season in about 20 years, in my personal opinion. And some people argue with me on this, but this is the first time in 20 years I've gone into an off season where I could actually have a legitimate argument that our defense could be better than our offense. And that's not saying the offense is going to be bad by any means. I'm just saying I'm looking at the guys we have coming back and the production and the plays they made last year and the improvements, the incremental improvements from Alex Grinch. I'm like, holy shit, this might actually, this could happen potentially.
Yeah,
where it's like they could be right there with them.
And the idea that, well, they're in the Big 12, so they're going to get lit up no matter how good they are. We saw last year, even though last year was sort of an anomaly because of the COVID thing, West Virginia had a legit defense.
We didn't get to play them last year because of COVID. That was the game that got canceled.
I was going to go to that game too. I was in West Virginia over Thanksgiving, and that was the game I was going to go to while I was up there, and it got canceled. But, so you can be in the Big 12 and have a legit defense. I mean, West Virginia proved that, and I just think, I think people are. I think it's just human beings are creatures of habit. I am too. And you just you get these mindsets like and we're guilty of it with other teams too, right?
Oh sure, we all have
such
our
and
biases.
such team's going to have a great Ole Miss. Well, they got Lane Kiffin. They're going to score 50 points a game, but they're going to lose 52-40. Or whatever other teams go, oh, they got a great defense, but they're going to they can't score, so they're going to lose every game 13-10. And that's just a perception that, what's the thing? Perception becomes reality or whatever. Oklahoma has had terrible defenses. So at some point, perception becomes reality. So I don't blame people for just discounting Oklahoma. But this year's Oklahoma defense ain't the defense that, your average college football fan is used to seeing over the last few years. It's just not. It's not. And, outside of Iowa State, there ain't a whole lot to worry about in the Big 12 for Oklahoma, I don't think. I don't think Texas, new coaching staff, new quarterback, not worried. I think West Virginia will be a little bit better,
Texas
but not on Oklahoma's level. Maybe
Texas
y'all got to get lucky.
tough.
Y'all got to get lucky and find a way to beat Kansas State. But if you can do that, it's clear sailing.
I know. We got to. I mean, it's like we. You ever go, like, before COVID? You ever go to the mall and you have one of those games where you got to, like, get the keyhole to knock over the iPad or whatever, and it's nearly impossible, but you always believe you can do it. It's like, that's us in K-State right now. We got to get the little key to the thing to knock over the prize.
Yeah.
I'll just swipe my credit card one more time. I can do this. I almost got it. I got it timed down. It's like, but every big program's got that one team that's like a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And for us right now, it's K-State.
Let me ask you this too, because a caller mentioned earlier about the Georgia Clemson game. I'd love to beat Clemson. That ain't my goal. Do you care if Oklahoma goes 11-1? Like, who cares? When your goals are playoffs. But okay, like, I get that maybe you don't want to lose to Texas, whatever. But, like, if I told you right now you're going 11-1 and you're going to the Big 12 title, you'd take that, wouldn't you? I mean, is the goal really to go 12-0? Like, why? I don't understand. Why?
What's funny? In a weird way, if we drop to, like, whoever, I get to go on Twitter and argue other teams and call people out for, being hypocrites about, well, they lost to this team by this many points. It's like, motherfucker, look at this team that you're propping up. They did the exact same thing, but worse.
Right.
So it all, in a weird, twisted way, it makes it more fun. Like, yeah, we lost earlier in the season, blah, blah, blah. But your boys lost in November against a really bad team that has a losing, whatever. So You're right. Like, that's happened to us every time we made the playoff. We haven't gone in undefeated. We've always dropped a game to somebody. We beat Ohio State on the road. 2 weeks later, we dropped to Iowa State at home. So it is what it is. As long as we get in the dance, that's all I care about. Now, granted, in a perfect world, I would love to have that number one seed and go play in the Cotton Bowl, just a 3-hour trip down the interstate, down I-35, and get the fourth place team, whoever that may be, and finally get a damn playoff win. Whether we get like some sort of Big Ten team that has like a lot of hope and prayers and we crush them by 20, I would love that.
Yeah.
But, getting to that, like, you have to be undefeated and you have to look like the number one team to even get considered, because it is a beauty contest. You're trying to impress like 13 committee members. And,
well, yeah, and I guess there is a difference. I'm not even trash talking. Big 12 versus SEC. I guess you have to worry about that. In the SEC, you don't. I mean, if you've got 2 losses and you win the SEC title game, you're probably a shoe-in. And so maybe there's
I got to see. We got to fight. we got to fight against the narrative of like, this is my problem. I don't have a problem if you're a legitimate team and you're not a conference winner and you deserve to get in. I have to fight the narrative in the preseason where people are saying, you know what, 2 SEC teams are getting in. It's like, whoa, can we play football games first before we do that? I understand, like, but I had to fight that fucking narrative a lot over the past few years. Like, hang on. Before you crown anybody, let's play some football games first, and then we'll have that discussion in November. But it's tough. It's like when you want to talk about perception and reality. I believe things get spoken into existence. Not saying some teams aren't deserving of it, because we can go down the years and just go on and on about that. Who was deserving, who wasn't, for whatever reason. But it's just when you're outside that bubble and you're trying to fight and scratch your way in at times. It's frustrating. It's like,
yeah. You still in? Are you still in Florida?
Orlando. Yeah, I'm in Orlando. I'm going to be here for the time being. I am in a holding pattern right now, and I will hopefully be starting a really new kick-ass gig down here in the next month or two. And when that happens, I will let everyone know what that is.
Well, I know Disney World.
Right now,
I know Disney World just opened back up. Did you get some sort of a Mickey Mouse type gig in the works, or
No. This is anti-Disney.
Not quite that exciting. Okay, I understand.
No. Well, the place I'll be working for is it's not Disney approved. I'll put it that way.
Oh, great.
But
now I saved the best question for last. Speaking of amazing jobs, when can we expect to see Oni Kuno on the R.J. Young Show?
Never.
What a clown that guy is.
No, it's like, you got 20 minutes? Oh, God. You know, I take some responsibility for creating that monster. I really do. It's partly my fault as well. I validated him on some level. Then,
when we played Oklahoma in 2017, that whole month leading up to that game, he had 4,000 subscribers, and I had way more than that. And I messaged him on Twitter and tried to get him to come on my show. And he said, I'll get back to you. I have to see if I don't remember the exact words, but it's basically I have to see if I'm allowed to do that. And he messaged me back and said,
allowed to do it?
He had, back then he was somehow affiliated with, I don't know if it was 24/7 Sports or it was some website or something. And anyway, he
back
wouldn't,
then?
he would, yeah, and he wouldn't come on. He wouldn't come on. And now he's got, I think he's got 100,000 subscribers now. He's huge now, and I'm happy for him. He's on TV and the whole thing. He's made it. And I said all along, this guy's got ambitions way above YouTube. You just could tell by watching him. But I just don't like people like that. I posted your link in the comment section. Now, these people who look at YouTube as a competition amongst college football people, I don't like that. And that's how he came across to me. No, I'm not coming on your show because I have ambitions greater than you, or what. And I had, I had 25,000 subscribers or something at the time. He had 4.
Well, you know the story about him, right? He is a fraud. He's not an Oklahoma fan.
Well, he's an
People
Oklahoma
think he
State
is, but he's
fan,
not.
isn't he? Or a Tulsa fan?
No. He doesn't even like. He doesn't even like college football that much.
Oh.
So here's the story about R.J. Young. R.J. Young moved from like Florida in like 2000, and he popped over, and his YouTube channel started off. He was reviewing like comic books and stuff and everything, which is fine. I got nothing wrong with that. I like comic books too on some level, but it's he got notoriety a little bit because he got a little bit of attention because he was on his little step mill thing, and he was like talking about Baker Mayfield, and then like it got him a little bit of attention, and then he used to work at Sooner Scoop, the rival site, and then one of the guys that used to work with him just like basically blasted him. Oh yeah, he secretly hates OU fans. He had to have it explained to him why the OU Texas game was important to Oklahoma fans. Apparently,
wow,
that had to be explained to him. Now, I don't need it explained to me why the cocktail party is important to you.
Right.
I understand why it's important, but he needed it to be explained to him why OU in Texas was important.
Yeah.
I don't know why he had that mindset, but anyway. Like, I hate his little clickbaity videos that he puts out there, because before the Alabama game, he put out this little video, like, reasons why Kyler Murray will skip the bowl game. I'm like, excuse me? It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, why? This is like a week before West Virginia, where they were going to, if they win that game, they go to the Big 12, and they're still in the hunt. He's on a Heisman campaign trying to get to the playoff. Like, Kyler Murray ain't skipping nothing. So so he puts out this little clickbaity video, and it's one of those things. Well, this is what other players did, and these are the games. Like, he's in the hunt for a Heisman, and to go to the playoff. It's like, where are you hearing this? Like, and it's clickbait. It's like fucking clickbait bullshit. And that was the first thing. And it just goes on. And then you want to talk about his expertise? Let me tell you about his little fucking expertise. Like, he's got this hard on about in-state recruiting in the state of Oklahoma. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some.
I didn't even know
guys
that was a thing.
In-state Oklahoma. Oh, okay. I know, but hear me out here. We have some guys who grew up in the state of Oklahoma who dream about putting on the crimson and cream and have that interlock and OU on their helmet, and only a select few really are good enough in state. There's like a handful of guys who are really good enough to go out and do that. We get a lot of our guys from Texas, plain and simple. So he goes on this rant about how he's like, well, I could put together a G5 team with just guys from Oklahoma. We could run things. It's like, we're not trying to put together a G5 team. And so people were arguing with him on Twitter, and he's like, he lists a bunch of guys from LSU from a couple years ago, big players that were part of that national title team, who are all like in one recruiting class. He's like, Louisiana did all this in-state, boom, 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 with all these players. And then he lists a bunch of guys who were recruited out of Oklahoma. And he's listing like Jason White and Gerald McCoy and all these guys. He's listing some of our best players over the period of 20 years, as opposed to one recruiting class from Louisiana. So how stupid are you to make that argument? It's like, well, if you pick these like 6 or 8 guys over the course of 20, you're picking one guy every couple years that made a mark on the program.
Yeah. And
you're picking a bunch of Bravos 250, 100 guys in one recruiting class for LSU. It's just mind-boggling. It's like he has the stupidest takes. And every time I got to hear about RJ Young, it's like, why don't you like RJ? Because he's a moron.
Yeah. He's
a moron. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He has failed upwards. Congratulations. But, it's cost me some people. But you know what? I would rather tell the truth than just put a smile on my face and lie. It's like, no, I ain't doing that shit anymore. So it's like, I know how he feels. He's a fraud. Everyone kind of knows the deal with him. Like everybody on the beat doesn't like him. Yeah. Especially his tag team partner, Brandon Drum, who's going to get OU in trouble one day. That guy loves to play him some Xbox with high school recruits. Loves to play some Xbox with them. But anyway, that's my rant on. Everybody's got like 1 or 2 local guys that like cover their team that they just absolutely can't stand. Yeah. Those are my 2 guys.
Yeah. Well, Oni Kuno, I could talk to you for 2 hours. Unfortunately for you, if you want to do that, you're going to have to come back on the morning show. Going to have to let you go. The phone lines are backed up. Thanks for calling in tonight, though, buddy. It was good to hear from you. I hadn't talked to you in a while. Glad to hear you're doing okay. And good luck this season, man. It's going to be a good one.
I think it will be, too. You have a good one, man.
All right, buddy. Oni Kuno calling in. I posted his link in the comments section. You guys make sure you sub him up. We're going to run through these next 3 calls pretty quick and then end the show. So just fair warning to these next 3 callers. These are going to have to be quick calls. It's getting late. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Lou.
Caller.
What's up, Lou?
What's up, caller?
I'm not a caller. I'm a cleanup.
Well, you're calling in. You're a caller. The fact that you also blow your nose with Kleenex is just a weird coincidence.
How's your day, Lou?
Great. You were on hold for 38 minutes. And that was the best you could do. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
This is Nate the Great.
What's up, Nate?
Not much, man. I know you have to go in a little bit, but I'll just give you an update for my bowling for tonight.
All right, let's do it.
So the first frame I got 131. Second frame didn't do so good. As the first one I got 176, which is really bad. But the third one I got 202. 201.
Winner. Good job, Nate. That's great.
Yep.
I told you, man. All you had to do was get back into it. You get scores up.
Yep. Have a good night, dude. I'll let you get some sleep.
Okay, thanks, Nate. It was good to hear from you, sir. And I can't tell you how happy I am to hear that your bowling averages increased, because I was getting a little worried there about a month or so ago when you started taking some time off. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, Uncle Lou. Good morning, Uncle Lou. How you doing, sir?
Doing great.
All right, I'm going to knock the Clemson game out of the way. I'm going to give you three teams: Arkansas, Auburn, or Kentucky. If Georgia was to lose a game, Clemson notwithstanding next year, which one of those three teams could possibly knock off Georgia?
Arkansas.
And I get to listen.
Arkansas is the best of those three teams. Thank you for the call. In my opinion, Arkansas will finish with a better record than Auburn and Kentucky next year. You heard it here first. All right, that's it for the phone calls. Appreciate you guys calling in. Great calls today. Slim Shady, thank you for hitting the PayPal link. He says, what does a gump have in common with a plunger? Both are always bringing up old shit. That is true. That's facts. There's no lies detected there. Thank you, Slim. Bringing up old shit. Slim again. Thank you, sir. He says, only in the state of Alabama does the website eharmony.com automatically redirect to ancestry.com. Another fact. There is no difference in Alabama between eHarmony and Ancestry. They're actually one and the same site in Alabama. They all lead back to the same place. Go Tigers 504. 504. Good to hear from you, sir. Thank you for supporting the show tonight. Hitting that PayPal link. I do appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Huffer Billy Paul. Thank you for hitting the super chat, sir. Appreciate that. He says, Taters and dogs may play each other twice this year. Wouldn't that be epic? It's very possible, because whoever loses that game is not out. Clearly, Clemson is the cream of the crop in the ACC. So let's say Clemson loses. They could still go 11-1, win the ACC championship game. A 12-1 Clemson with an ACC title and a loss to Georgia in week 1 is getting into playoffs. Period. A 12-1 Georgia with a loss to Clemson in week 1 and an SEC title is getting into playoffs. Period. So it is possible that Clemson and Georgia meet twice this year. Very possible. That's not a stretch at all. In fact, you'd probably have negative odds on that bet. It's a very good bet. Super chats. Mountaineer Mike, thank you, sir. He says, so should West Virginia fans take this as a compliment? Yes, compliment on last year's team. I think I said that already. Stephen Roberts, good to see you, sir. Hadn't seen you in a while. Thank you for hitting that super chat. He says, now that the Goldberg has retired, Mr. Vick is now the man. Michael Vick is the man. Slob Olympic, MVS, most valuable slob. I mean, hard to argue that point. Lou, UJ can't go 15-0 because we play Tennessee, and I've heard that the new coach is the answer to all their problems. Vols fans say they're going 15-0. Imagine the desperation that a fan base has to have to be willing to put all their hope in the Josh Heupel basket. And you got 25 players in the transfer portal and a terrible recruiting class. Stephen Smith, thank you for the super chat, sir. Very generous of you. Thank you. He says, what do you think needs to be fixed for people to watch NCAA basketball again? I don't think there's anything to do to fix it. March Madness is so popular that I don't think they're going to change it, but the regular season is meaningless. So I don't think they're going to change it. You'd have to drastically shorten the season, maybe do away with conference tournaments, which isn't going to happen. But short of that, I don't know what you can do to fix NCAA basketball regularly. Diehard basketball fans, I get it. They like the regular season. They like watching Duke play North Carolina, or they like watching Kentucky play whoever the hell Kentucky plays, or whatever. But it doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. 64 teams get in. You can be 0-30 and get hot and win your conference tournament, and you can get in the NCAA tournament at 4-30. So the regular season is just meaningless. Bacon and Jet, thank you for the super chat. Says, you know what's a bigger joke than Alabama? Georgia, 2nd and a half. You can count the number of people that understand that joke on 0 hands. Nothing like, let me read it again. You know what's a bigger joke than Alabama? Georgia, 2nd and a half.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it? English, motherfucker, do you speak it? I need to feel you, Jerry. It's a trap.
Oh, it's a trap. Even Traveling Fool said that joke sucked. All right, guys and girls, I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. I do. I'll be back at 8 in the morning for the morning show. Got Ballard coming on tomorrow. And I think Mike Vick's coming back on again tomorrow to wrap up his FEMA camp fetish from today. So I'll be back at 8 a.m. I got to get some beauty sleep. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Big shout out to those of you who supported the show tonight by participating in the comment section, hitting the thumbs up, which if you hadn't hit the thumbs up yet, go ahead and hit it now. It's free. I don't know if you know that, but it's free to hit that thumbs up, and it doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't take any time at all. Hit the thumbs up. And, of course, those of you who chose to directly support the show financially through the Super Chat or the PayPal, that's the only thing that keeps these live shows going. So big shout-out to you guys. J-Bones, Bears, Cubs, Canes, Slim Shady, Mountaineer Mike, Stephen Roberts, Stephen Smith, TC the Weatherman. Oh, I skipped some. TC the Weatherman says, Uncle Lou, I just had surgery today. For 8 years, I've been dealing with a football injury that has caused me so much pain. Many doctors cannot figure it out. Now I will be pain-free. That's great news. I am happy to hear that. People shouldn't have to live in pain. Cole Tollison, thank you for the super chat. Says good night. Good night to you too, sir. Thank you to everybody for supporting the show tonight. I really mean it. Traveling Fools. Everybody that supported the show. Over on the PayPal page, we had Hufferbilly Paul, Slim Shady, RB Smata, Mike Reiser, Go Tigers 504. Really appreciate you guys supporting the show. That means the world to me. That's what keeps these things going. Can't wait to do it again next week, Tuesday, Thursday, 10 p.m. But you don't have to wait that long. I'll be back at 8 in the morning for the morning show. We have a good time on the morning show, too. You guys check it out if you haven't already. We have a good time on there. We talk about some sports, but a lot of other stuff, too. We have a good time on there. Randall Green, thank you for the super chat, sir. Alabama hasn't lost to Georgia since George W. Bush was president. Facts. Facts. 2007. Mikey Anderson, touchdown pass in overtime for Matthew Stafford. Has Alabama beat Louisiana Monroe since 2007, though? Because you did lose to them that year. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys. I'll see you in the morning at 8 a.m. Have a great night and an even better morning, too.